And I just say, Daddy is here with us. You just pray and he'll hear us.
This man committed his life to stopping violence in the streets until he was shot in the line of duty and died at his wife's side.
He said, I'm just glad this happened to me and not any of my other guys. That's the type of person Ken is.
Tonight, a widow remembers the hero she and their children love so much.
I'm asking you to relay this to the world, that I lost a husband, the boys lost a father, but the world lost a hero. And he forgave the person that did this to him.
Plus, we'll show you how flashpoints of violence are affecting the race to the White House and how Clinton and Trump match up in the test of their lives on Monday night. This is Money, Power, and Politics. Well, the national debate has turned once again to law and order and justice for all. We have an officer arrested for shooting and killing an unarmed African-American man in Tulsa. We've had violent protests in Charlotte and officers wounded. Meanwhile, both Clinton and Trump have stoked tensions by playing race card politics. Clinton noting Klan support for Trump. Trump calling Clinton a bigot. We have distrust on both sides. We have cities on edge and officers who put their lives on the line. So we start with a closer look at the men and women behind the badge, what they do, what they give, and what we lose when they fall in the line of duty all across the nation. This week, Sergeant Kenneth Stile was laid to rest in Detroit, and Charlie LeDuff spoke to his widow.
We always took the boys to school together. And I would go to work and he would pick them up. But instead, this time, his officers took him to school.
If the problem in America is truly the need for good police, then Sergeant Ken Stile was surely the solution. Consider, in a 20-year career with the Detroit Police Department, he took the most difficult and dangerous jobs. He was the squad leader, decorated for valor. He never once discharged his firearm. His work file contains no discipline or misconduct complaints of any kind. Consider how he lost his life, succumbing to a shotgun blast from a maniac who had shot his own father. Someone called, Sergeant Stile answered. But none of that seems to matter now. He's gone. What will ultimately be remembered about Ken Stile, the finest accomplishment in his short life, must surely be his family, his wife, his 2 boys, his brothers and sisters in blue.
I just want everyone to know the Ken that we know at home. Everyone sees him out in his uniform, but nobody knows how he is at home. What a beautiful father he is. And I speak of him in presence because he is with us. I just want everybody to know that the week that Ken was in the hospital, he specified, he said, I'm just glad this happened to me and not any of my other guys. That's the type of person Ken is. He said, Joanne, I'm not even mad or angry at the man that did this. I'm just glad to be here for my boys. I'm glad to be here to raise my boys. And as sad as it is, it was the most beautiful week we've had. I'm asking you to relay this to the world, that I lost a husband, the boys lost a father, but the world lost a hero. And he forgave the person that did this to him. And I forgive the person that did this to him because I know in my heart if he knew what he took from us, he wouldn't have done this. I just think that I know that we need more love in this country right now, and his death is not going to happen in vain. It didn't happen in vain.
Do the boys know?
Oh, absolutely. In the middle of the night, they will wake up and say, "Mommy, Daddy died." And then my little one wakes up calling for his daddy. So, and I just say, Daddy is here with us. You just pray and he'll hear us.
Thank you for your service, Detroit Police Sergeant Kenneth Stile. You shall not be forgotten.
He was taken from us too early, but God needed a soldier. Couldn't have taken a better one from us.
We'll continue to focus on the contributions of law enforcement as well as concerns from peaceful protesters that have driven the national debate. You can also catch up on our series of reports from Charlie and from me on YouTube. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics and click subscribe. Well, Clinton and Trump will face off for their first head-to-head debate on Monday night and bet that they will take questions on social justice and law and order. The issues of terrorism, the economy, and jobs should also drive the debate. And they both face some pitfalls that can do them in. And here's what their advisors are probably telling them right now behind the scenes. First, Trump will attack Hillary Clinton, but he should try to avoid looking condescending as President Obama did 8 years ago.
I don't think I'm that bad.
You're likable enough,
thank
Hillary,
you so
no
much.
doubt.
And Hillary Clinton will also want to challenge or needle Donald Trump, but she should avoid appearing too aggressive, as Al Gore did against Bush.
But can you get things done?
They both need to look and sound engaged, particularly on the economy, and they have to be able to relate to working class families. That's how Bush 41 crashed against Clinton. He could not explain how the debt affected him.
Help me with the question and I'll try to answer it. I'll tell you how it's affected me.
They also don't want to shoot from the hip too much because in the course of a long night, they can shoot themselves in the foot, as Romney did a time or two.
I'm running for office, for Pete's sake. I can't have illegals.
And so their handlers are giving them these catchphrases and pressing them to stay on message. But that can also backfire if they stay on message too much, as Gore and Bush did over and over again.
And I will put Medicare in an ironclad lockbox. In a lockbox.
I can't let the man continue with fuzzy math.
In a lockbox.
Fuzzy math.
Lockbox.
Fuzzy math.
Lockbox.
Fuzzy math.
Right now, in an average of national polls, Clinton has a 2-point lead over Donald Trump. But Trump is gaining ground and closing in on the battleground states that will swing the election. Gary Johnson is averaging around 9%, and he was shut out of this first debate. But again, the polls will turn one way or the other after this debate, and we'll score their performances on stage and on social media and with swing voters here in Tampa Bay live on Monday night. Coming up, Congress lashes drug makers for spiking the price of life-saving drugs.
They'll fly back to their mansions in their private jets and laugh all the way to the bank.
Plus, we'll drill into Clinton and Trump's debate strategies. And on the lighter side of politics, Charlie Belcher has our viewer mailbag. Well, tonight we're on the cusp of one of the most unpredictable and maybe the most impactful and most watched debate in our history. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are facing the test of their lives, and Trump is already trash-talking his opponent.
Where is Hillary today? Well, they say she's been practicing for the debate. Some people think she's sleeping.
That's a clue there that Trump may try to frame Clinton as low energy, just as he did to Jeb Bush.
We have an HSA in some companies don't. But I think the norm ought to be
Jeb, for all your sleeping needs.
They both face challenges in terms of tone. Clinton does not want to come across as cool and aloof, so she may try to ramp it up. Meanwhile, Trump does not want to come across as over the top, so he could tone it down.
And I think you're going to see a performance that may well be entertaining, but without a lot of, and here's how we're going to get there, backing it up.
Again, we'll track and score it on Monday Night Live and work in your response. And on that note, it's the weekend and time for Charlie Belcher to read your responses to our show. Charlie Belcher's in our new mailroom, so Charlie, take it away.
Hello there, Money Power Politics audience. Charlie Belcher here in my own Money Power Politics mailroom. Yes, they gave me a key. So now I have the whole place to myself. We'll start decorating a little bit more. Maybe a little couch over there, Davenport over there, as soon as I figure out where Davenport is. And all of your emails sent down here to me, printed out so I can read them to you. Here we go. Our first email, includes pictures. I like pictures. That's usually the way I read books. It says, "Hi, we are avid Trump supporters from Lakeland, Florida. Would you be willing to post, please? Riley is 4 years old and loves her some Trump, aka Superman." There she is. There's a little cutie. There she is, rocking her Donald Trump as Superman. DC Comics is going to send a cease and desist probably, but cute photo. Anytime you want to send me photos, we'll put them on the air. Your dog photos, your political photos, your family photos, keep them coming. All right, our next email comes from Tony, who says, "Thank you, Craig, for giving us a program that tells us the truth about the shambles of our government." We are truth seekers, Tony. Glad you appreciate it. Diane Joyce says, "Dear Craig, thanks for making politics fun and for Charlie's mailroom. It's been a crazy year for politics, and I enjoy a sense of humor and your take on it. So, TY," which I know because I have a 15-year-old daughter means thank you. Our next email comes from Steve and Sheila Griffin from Pasco County. They say, "We love your show because it makes us laugh and makes us think. You never know what you're going to get, and we like it. Keep up the good work." Yeah, laughing and thinking, they can go together. Thank you for appreciating that. Next email from Don Brinson says, "Dear Fox 13 News, money and politics is one of my new favorites." I noticed you left out the power. That's okay, that's fine. It's money, power, and politics, but money and politics may be more important than the power. Sorry, I like how Craig and Chris drilled the Auburn guy. You can tell you guys all love what you do. And Don ends it with a PS, "Roll Tide." Yeah, anytime we get some college sports in there too, go Appalachian State Mountaineers from my perspective, but we'll agree to disagree on that one. Gosh, all those emails were so positive. Well, now I feel like we're not being fair and balanced. You guys all can't just like us. Where are the haters? I need some balance. I need some balance in this segment. I know. Carmen, the cranky camera operator. She hates everything. I gotta go balance out with Carmen. Come on. This is what you do during my segment?
I thought we locked you in the mailroom.
No. I got a key. Oh. Thank you very much.
Standing
Carmen.
by. Right, I'm standing by.
Carmen.
No, I'm standing by. Standing by.
Cranky Carmen.
Okay, what?
Carmen, quick question. I just need some balance in my life. Everything was very positive in the mailroom. I just need to know, what do you think of money, power, politics?
Never seen it.
It's the show it's a show you're shooting right now. You shoot it every night.
I mean, Craig's okay, but anytime you come on, I just turn it off.
That's what I was looking for. I feel much better and worse at the same time. Thank you for that. Okay, keep those emails coming, by the way. mppmailbag@yahoo.com. Positive or negative, we'll take them. Back to you.
I love you, Charlie. Coming up, we'll shift gears to our consumer expert, Bonnie Banerjee. She'll break down the firestorm in Washington over the soaring cost of life-saving drugs and what we can do about it. For people with serious allergies, EpiPens save lives, but the manufacturer has hiked the price more than 500%, now charging around $600 for a 2-pack, and Congress is livid.
After Marlin takes our punches, they'll fly back to their mansions in their private jets and laugh all the way to the bank. While our constituents suffer, file for bankruptcy, and watch their children get sicker or die.
Okay, Bonnie, so I looked at what played out on Capitol Hill. A lot of finger wagging, a lot of punching. Boy, the CEO got hammered on this, but solutions seem to be in short supply.
Yeah, that was the big question, right? Is the price going to go down for families who desperately need an EpiPen? And that was the answer that we really didn't get. And I think that's what's frustrating for so many lawmakers. And that's why you saw the outrage across the board, bipartisan, both sides of the aisle, saying, okay, what are you going to do about this? Where are the documents that explain how you have $11 billion in excess sales, right? But you're saying that it's normal to have hiked the price like this.
And she's making upwards of $19 million in compensation. She's not sorry. She says that's sort of the middle of the bell curve on this. At the same time, you have Cummings who say this was the rope-a-dope strategy, where the manufacturer just keeps taking punches, and then once the punches are dealt, they continue to raise the price.
What we saw play out was a very complex and nuanced explanation of why they're not making as much money as it might seem. She said, the CEO said, that they're only making $50 per EpiPen. There's 2 in a pack, so $100 in profit. But then when you look at the billions in sales that the company's making, that didn't add up.
Some change.
Yeah, that didn't add up for them. It cost pennies to make the actual medicine inside. Then they've got the delivery system, the shot, that you just boop, right in your leg. They have a virtual monopoly of this market. There are other generic options out there. There are other companies pushing it, but it hasn't been approved by the FDA yet. So their solution to help people pay was to say, well, we're offering our own generic for $300 versus the $600, that it costs for a pack. Where is the answer as to why it spiked over the last 10 years more than 500%?
You could argue inaction in Congress is part of what's going on here. Price controls on life-saving drugs. You're talking about the possibility of having Medicare be able to negotiate drug prices with the manufacturers. That was the big one. But the chances of this actually happening, based on what we've seen in the gridlock that's transpired for years, seems to be nil.
Right, and that's the whole face-off between politicians and the pharmaceutical industry. So she said a lot in defense of what they're doing, but not a lot to explain the why.
Sarbani, thank you for your perspective.
You got it.
Coming up, our favorite moments and skits of the week.
You go back to...
Okay, it's the weekend. Time to have a little fun by taking a look back at some of my favorite moments and skits from the week, at least a couple of them, beginning with a couple of snippets from Director Darren's Password Challenge. Take a look.
Cher's costume changes. Cher's costume changes.
Recycled to a certain extent today.
I mean, we have seen that commercial over and more often than Cher's costume changes.
Yeah.
The way that ad keeps coming back year after year.
Santa's sweat. Santa's sweat.
But you know what I mean.
Right. Well, it takes a lot of work. There's not that many days until Christmas. Until we get to the election. And it takes a lot of toil. A lot of Santa sweat goes into this sort of thing. You have to be able to make the ads.
Boy, 2016 first pitch derby, here we come.
Couldn't ask for a better night for baseball.
And look, the president's already out. There's Richard Nixon right there. Nixon has a lot in common this year with Donald Trump. I've said that over and over again.
Yeah, he's not going to like that, Craig.
But it's true. Look, you look at the themes. Both stress law and order themes. Look, you go back to...
Wow. Thank you.
That almost knocked you over.
What if you would have missed?
You would have been clonked in the head.
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone so well. You can check out the full versions of this in case you missed some of our skits of the week and favorite moments by going to our YouTube channel. Click subscribe, search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics on YouTube. You can also catch up on prior shows you may have missed. We have a lot of fun with our humor and parody segments, but we also take a very serious look at money in politics, national, local, and international affairs, which is where we focused a lot of our time over the past couple of weeks, tracking the war on terror in Iran, Iraq, and in particular in Syria. And with this, we have had a breakdown, of course, in the truce, and I want to show you where we've gone from here and what happens next. Take a look.
Powerful amateur video coming out of Aleppo. This footage is said to show a baby boy being pulled out of the rubble of a collapsed building. Another video purports to show rescuers using their hands to dig out a 5-year-old girl. Her parents and 4 siblings believed to be dead. Rebel-held areas of Aleppo have been hit hard by airstrikes, coming as government forces declared a new offensive to retake the divided city. Several neighborhoods and a volunteer civil defense group all targeted by the bombings.
I have not seen in my life such bombardment. It is very, very intense.
Fighting in Syria's bloody civil war temporarily subsided because of a U.S. and Russian brokered ceasefire, but the fragile peace unraveled after less than a week.
The spoilers went to work. Humanitarian aid deliveries were blocked. The ceasefire was violated by one or the other again and again.
As diplomats try to revive the ceasefire, tension remains between Washington and Moscow, who back opposing sides in the Syrian civil war.
We want to see any sign which would prove that the coalition has influence on those who are on the ground facing the government. I don't think it's asking too much.
A Syrian military official says airstrikes on Aleppo will continue and will also likely expand into a ground invasion of rebel-held areas. In Jerusalem, John Huddy, Fox News.
Thank you, John Huddy, and thank all of you for joining us. By the way, we have a big night planned on Monday, as do Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This will be the test of their political lives, their first head-to-head matchup on a national stage. Of course, we will score it for you in terms of substance, in terms of tone, in terms of style, and show you how it plays here at home. Again, that is our show tonight. Much more planned on Monday night. We will see you then. Until then, have a good night. Take care.